In order to explain what is happening with the economy of Russia now, it is worth to consider the situation in China first, because the biggest debt bubble is in China. The debt bubble in China will cause the crisis of 2022-2024, and this will be the same crash that everyone has been talking about for so long. China is starting to look at the island of Taiwan, which is a technology island. The US will not allow China to have an economic foothold. Therefore, the next war after Ukraine will be in those regions, and will be very destructive for the economies of developing countries. In the event of Russia's reunification with China, she will quickly be shown her place. A lot of people believe that the situation in Taiwan will be related to the semiconductor crisis, but this crisis only shields the West's consumption of these Chinese-made products. Now all production is transferred from China to the USA and other profitable countries. China is threatening with nuclear weapons that could easily reach us, so this is. Nuland gave a very strong warning to Russia and pointed out what awaits them. In forecasts for the future, Russia will only have a role in the last rolls, since the USA and China remain strong players now. Now, in connection with the war in Ukraine, tough sanctions are being imposed on Russia, supply chains are being broken, and the food crisis is growing. The shelves will empty in supermarkets, people will not be able to buy goods and order from abroad. Limit money transfers, cryptocurrency, and more. This is a transition into a dark age for Russian citizens. There is no food production in the Russian Federation that can cover the needs of the country, and it will take years to recreate it, but ordinary citizens will suffer. All this will lead to an extraordinary increase in prices, supply problems, the growth of gasoline and fuels. Russia is facing famine. Now we will discuss a few recommendations for those who have at least some money left. Let's start with the fact that Russia actually announced a technical default. Technical default, a situation in which the borrower has violated the loan agreement by not making a payment to the debt holder, but is physically able to fulfill this agreement, and he also has the means to pay off the debt. In turn, Russia refused to pay debts to international holders of this debt. Russian debt that has been sold for a decade. Residents who have invested will not receive a profit, which has led to an outflow of money from the Russian economy. Shares of Gazprom fell to below indicator 80. Investors have fulfilled all their receipts, and if the Russian market opens, there will be a lot of interesting things. Now there is a ban on exit from Russian securities for foreign investors. In order to pick up stocks on falling markets, it is necessary to understand the economic and political situation in the world. You also need to consider the option of rollback. Despite the large reserves of Russia and the declared technical default, the international rating agency Fitch Ratings has lowered Russia's long-term foreign currency default rating to 6 levels. Since the beginning of March, the Central Bank of Russia has restricted the transfer of offset coupons in the national currency to non-residents. Recommendation: start investing. There are opinions that a large-scale investment wave will take place in Russia in the next few years. Why is that? There will be a critical moment in the Russian economy, similar to 1998. So, those people who in those years invested $1,000 in Gazprom or oil shares, after 20 years had a stable monthly income of about 500,000 rubles, and at least $500,000 lay on their accounts. For those who stay in Russia, there is a risk of nationalization of the company's shares, and there is also a risk that after buying the shares of companies, they will not pay dividends in the next 5 years. But if you wait and hold the right stocks, then there is a chance to multiply them hundreds of times. Always think about missed opportunities. Look around, try, analyze, invest. Here is Angel Swert.